Perry Small, WVON. I was just, in your last remarks, you were talking about possible charges of sedition and treason. Have you heard anybody, or have you been contacted by any reliable sources that said that this might happen?
No.
What makes you make that statement?
Looking at the book.
Okay.
What book? Do you realize we're fulfilling prophecy right now? You don't have no black man in America that has an argument with the Jews but Farrakhan. Well, who in the Bible had the biggest argument with the Jews of that day? Was it not Jesus? I'm walking in the master's shoes. Take it or let it alone. Next question.
Sure.
Excuse me. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Phil Rogers from Channel 5.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if you clarify the link you see between what is going on with Muammar Gaddafi and the possibility of a major earthquake in the United States.
Oh, yes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that there were 4 great judgments. And the last of those judgments was earthquakes. And he told me that there would be one coming that would be so great. Not just one city would come down, many. Search the scriptures. When they hung Jesus out to dry, and on the day he gave up the ghost, what happened? A great earthquake. See, you're dealing with a man, I'm sorry, I'm not an insane, delusionist person. You're dealing with a man that you're going to have to deal with. And you can't deal with me the way you deal with your customary Negroes. You can't kill me like you did Malcolm and Martin and others. God won't allow that to happen. And the moment you move on me, God is going to move on you. And I'm talking about terrible disaster. Now, if you think I'm crazy, just breathe a little more. And when it happens, remember, you heard it first on WFOIMGT.
Hello, Minister Farrakhan. I'm Karen Hawkins with the Associated Press.
Yes, ma'am.
Wondering if I can get your response to these reports that Gaddafi has been hurting his own people or attacking his own people. You know, that was President Obama's reason for intervening. What's your response to that?
Well, why didn't they intervene when Bush was hurting his own people? See, you all are always looking out for an enemy, and you're romancing an enemy every day. Gaddafi didn't have no stimulus package that robbed you of your wealth. Gaddafi didn't help Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers and all the Wall Street thieves rob the American people of their wealth. How in the hell can you look over there and see an enemy and don't see one that is robbing you blind under your very nose? And by the way, a lot of American people feel that Barack is hurting the American people. And they're making a move now to make sure he's just a one-term president. Thank God for this form of democracy where it is not open rebellion, but you're going to see that too. See, Wisconsin was just a seed. The union's just a seed. Let me tell you something. You think it's some black Muslims that you got problems with? You got problems with your well-armed militia that hate your government. And they'll tell you right now, when they went to the Tea Party with their gun on their hip, we come in peace this time. What did they mean by that? Those are the people you need to question, because Gaddafi can't get across the Atlantic Ocean to do you no harm. And if he did harm to his people, he has to answer for that. Everybody has to answer for their crimes. And I would say, while I'm on that point, to my friend Bashar al-Assad, when you see the people rising like this, don't wait for revolution. Create evolutionary change. What the people are wanting is more justice, more equity, more jobs, more transparency, less corruption. The king in Bahrain, the people weren't trying to overthrow him. They just wanted meaningful change. So if you're wise, every parent that is a dictator, and I'm sure your mother was one, I'm not playing the dozens, but my mother was sure enough a dictator. Was yours? If you had a father in the home, he told you when to come in. You didn't tell him what food you wanted to eat for that night, what room you were going to sleep in. But after the values that parents instill in their children are set, you can't dictate to even your children anymore. You got to back up now and learn how to reason with the growth of intelligence in your own house. Otherwise, you'll have a revolt in your kitchen. And I'm telling you, brothers, don't you think you're going to beat up women, misuse and abuse them. No. I mean, you gotta learn how to dialogue. Because in the kitchen there are many weapons. And if they don't get them while you're in the kitchen, they'll sure get them while you sleep. Yes, ma'am.
Brashear from the Chicago Tribune. Just to follow up to Karen's question, you said that people were asking for evolution, asking for things. Do you not feel that the rebels were acting the way they were because they weren't getting that from their leader, Gaddafi?
I'm sure that there's a degree of that definitely there. May I say something about the Nation of Islam? See, when the nation came up, we came up in a hostile environment. So we had general orders to help us guard against the enemy putting in our midst stool pigeons and agent provocateurs to destroy the momentum of our movement. So while we were looking out, we also had to look in. And sometimes somebody would get a jacket that they were working with the authorities. Maybe they weren't, but they got dealt with. See, repression is everywhere where authority is challenged. But when authority understands that the people do want change, do need change, and are not trying to harm a movement but create greater movement, then we would be wise to listen to the demands of the people for change. And that's all we're saying. Yes, there are people out there who really are aggrieved, but there's also an element there that don't care what Gaddafi does, even if he starts making a change. You ask them on the news, well, What do you want? We want to go all the way to Tripoli and get Gaddafi. How you going to do it? America is going to give them weapons. Barack has already signed it. CIA covert action going on right now in Libya. Boots are already on the ground. Special ops, according to what I heard on the news. So all this talk, fluff talk, is for the gullible, silly people to eat it up. But if you look under it, the policy has never changed. Kill Gaddafi. I want to ask you a question, media people. See, do you really think that Brother Gaddafi really was going to slaughter 700,000 people in Benghazi? Listen, he might have slaughtered some, though. I won't say he wouldn't. But if that were true, we looked up one day and his soldiers had ringed Benghazi. Now that means all the territory before that, they took it back. Where are all the bodies? If the man is a nut and feeling full of revenge, show me and the American people the bodies, the mass graves. You're liars. This is how you maneuver the American people. When you want to kill somebody, you first make them a boogeyman. I've had many conversations with brother leader. He's a thinker, not a nut. I wish, look at all the people that were greeting him with love. Brother, can you show them just a few? Oh, well, anyway. Where's, oh yeah. That's Gaddafi with Sarkozy. Did you know that Sarkozy said Libya financed his election? And they got all the bank transfers and everything. They say they're going to bring it out in the public. That's why he was so hurt that Sarkozy was the first one that wanted to bomb when he helped make him a president. It's the kind of devils you're dealing with. Let me tell you something. You would be worse than a damn fool with the knowledge that Elijah Muhammad has given us, and then take that kind of people into your bosom and wonder why the hell you get bitten. No, this ain't hate. We got 450 years of dealing with you. There he is with, I think that's Gordon Brown. Is Tony Blair. Look like he's gonna kiss him. Ban Ki-moon. Who's this guy? Oh, that's Berlusconi, the guy who has a little problem. Look at how they were loving him up. Just a few days before, how did he change? All of a sudden, he was killing all these people all the time, and you was in bed with him? You didn't smell the sulfur? You didn't smell the bombs while you was in bed? You wicked hypocrites. You were lulling him to sleep. That's why I told him in our last conversation in 2005, I said, brother, they will never forgive you for what you've done to destabilize their access to wealth. They'll make you think they're your friend, but they will only come in to destroy you and your revolution. So help me Allah. He patted me on my thigh as if to say, I know, but I'm maneuvering. He didn't say those words. Yeah, and now look, the shock of betrayal. Okay, last